Well, I was really excited to come and taste here. I've always thought that the Millésima tasting is an excellent way to form a more measured opinion of a particular vintage, because it takes place a year later, obviously, than the Primeur tastings, and as you say, just before bottling. The vintage 15, I think, is a little more varied than I expected it to be. My favourite appellations would have been, say, probably Margaux, Saint-Julien and Pessac-Léognan. I found Pauillac and Saint-Estèphe a little tougher. The tannins seemed a little bit coarse to me, maybe the sign of a good life, long life ahead. But the others that the Margaux, Saint-Julien and Pessac, I felt had a better balance, and there's a sweet ripe fruit character there coming through, which gives them a immediate appeal, and also a textural quality in the wines, which I think is very impressive. So lovely balance, integration, structure, but I think more varied perhaps than the overall impression of the vintage 2015. Well, I think the Irish market, of course, went through a fairly traumatic decade, and it's just coming out of that now. So I think people are rediscovering an interest in these sort of wines, the class growth Bordeaux, Cru Burgundies, and so forth. So I think there'll be keen interest in it. It's one thing that's important, I think, is that maybe consumers have drifted away a little bit when they were trying to save money, obviously. They need to be brought back, and this is perhaps the vintage that will bring them back. I don't think 13 would bring them back, for instance. I think 15, because of the sort of the charming character I mentioned in some of the appellations, I think that character will make the wines accessible, and particularly to somebody who maybe hasn't bought Cru Class A Bordeaux before. They don't want to be introduced to a vintage that's too stern and sort of forbidding and needs another decade before it softens. Austerity is not something that will appeal to them, but I think a ripe fruit character will appeal to them, and it's certainly, there's plenty of wines here have that character. I think the price advantage has evaporated a little bit in the last, say, decade or so. I think the advantage will always be that the provenance is very good. The wine hasn't been shipped all around the world for 10 years, bouncing around auction houses and so on and so forth. But of course, the great strength, I think, of Millésima is that you can buy older wines here. You only have to look around and you see the wines that are here. And I always think of Millésima as not just an EnPrimeurs negociant, but somewhere if you need something for a special anniversary or something like that, it's very useful for that sort of thing. So the advantage, I think, for Primeur is now more than ever provenance. I'm not sure about price, because I think, like, I remember years ago buying Primeur and then seeing, like, that I had got it at a fantastic price. I'm not sure that happened. That might still happen with a few very select chateaux, but by and large, I'm not sure that advantage still exists. I think the provenance advantage is the key thing.